Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to do what we do most weekends and check out some special selections where you guys tell me exactly what you want me to check out, and I do it. We got a pretty cool duo of songs coming in this weekend. We're going to start off with a request from Purgatory called the Budos Band, Burnt Offering. And I have no idea what to expect. I've never heard of this band. I've never heard of this record label. They're called Daptone Records. Probably just like busted your ears open if you're using headphones. I apologize for that. Yeah, just like what am I even what should I expect? I don't know. Let's just dive into it. The Budos Band, Burnt Offering. It sounds like we got some brass in here. It's just real heavy. Yeah, let's see these instruments. What do we got? A bari sax. We got a bass, a drum. Real dirty guitar tone. Super groovy though. There's the trumpet. All right. Alright, we got an organ player too. Well, yeah. Yes. Dang, just noise. Dude, I don't know how you can listen to this and not just like really get into it. I'm a little upset that interesting panning effects. Alright, so that's a cool little, like, a literal breakdown. We started to see a breakdown of the composition there. We got some cool, like, double tracking going on in the background. All right, so that is interesting. I believe a lot of that is noise for noise sake. Like, do we have noise genres? Is that something? Noise rock? Oh wait, noise. Somebody requested doing noise rock. Is that like a real genre? I just kind of figured it was like noisy music, but I mean this was kind of just noisy music. Maybe this is noise rock. So yeah, there's a lot in here that I really enjoyed. It is not something that's going to typically. It's not something I'm going to go out of my way to listen to often, but when it's on, I'm going to jam to it, which is kind of weird. Like I look forward to listening to it, but I would never intentionally put it on. And that sort of dichotomy is primarily because it, by nature, kind of lacks direction. It's cyclical in a meandering kind of way. And what I mean by that is the song constantly shifts back and forth between two ideas. We have uh, the main melody, the bum, 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 bum. But then we also have these oddball noise sections that are just about creating noise. We have lots of the guitar has that interesting effect on it that makes it sound like it's crackling, like it's losing signal rapidly. Um, we had a lot of sort of like half valve stuff going on the trumpets, sort of just create these weird screeches. Um, and just all over the place. It was these weird noise. I don't know how many times I'm going to say noises or noise in this episode. I'm probably going to get tired of it by the end, but that's the only way I can really. That's the best word for this, right? It is very noisy for noise sake. There's not a lot of what I would call like melodic compositional ideas other than the core melody line that we continue to come back to. But aside from that, it's usually just a lot of sound. Seemingly, I'd wager that it's more of an improvised sound. I would be interested to check out two live recordings of this back to back, and I'd almost put money on the fact that the sections between the composed melody section, they're going to be different, right? Maybe they have the same concept. This part is, the trumpet and the saxophone doing their thing. This part is going to be the guitarist, but I think what's actually played is going to vary. This seems like that kind of a jam band kind of thing, where those sections are more jammy, more improvised, less composed, and if that's true, I really dig that, right? We don't see as much improv in rock. At least I don't. Maybe it's out there. I can't say I've seen a lot of improvisation in rock. When we have solos, guitar solos, drum solos, they're sort of pre-written. They are this song's solo, and it's very much a rock thing. Despite rock and roll coming from blues, that's one of the few things that didn't carry over was improvised solos. We really moved into set in stone composed solos. They're more of it's more of an extension of the melodic idea. This song has this solo. The solo is just tied to the song, so it's just so much a core part of it that to change that solo would be to fundamentally change the song, which is true, um, but it wasn't always like that. So that's really interesting. Though I guess it could harken back to the days of the classical solo idea, where you might highlight an instrument, but it's still a pre-composed part. So yeah, I don't know. We're getting off topic here though. What else is new? Um, but yeah, so I really enjoy some of these elements going on. The strong brass and woodwind emphasis. Like the bass and the guitar are definitely prominent in the mix, but during the big section, all I really hear is the two acoustic instruments. And I know people in the comments have told me, "Hey, saxophones are brass," and I want to address this real quick. Yes, technically they are made out of brass. They're not. I mean, same thing with flutes. Is that they're made out of a metal, but they're still part of the woodwind family. I don't know specifically why. I should probably look this up. But at least with the saxophone specifically, it is still a reeded instrument. And as far as I know, we don't have reeded brass instruments. If it's reeded instrument, it belongs in the woodwind family. I think it has more to do with sort of tone and texture rather than uh, I don't know. I should look this up though. But yes, to those who have told me in the past that saxophones are brass, you are correct. They are just typically not associated with the brass section. They're more closely associated with the woodwind section. So I will be calling the saxophone in this video a woodwind. Um, but yeah, so they have a very strong presence. I love it. I love the experimental nature with them. Um, Experimental nature with or experimenting around with sounds of brass and woodwind instruments. I don't have a lot of exposure to that. I would assume maybe some more rock and metal bands that have incorporated brass and woodwind instruments maybe have experimented more with them. I know there's experimental classical music. I've just never really dove too hard into it. So just hearing them use these instruments in ways that I'm not super familiar with is novel. And as I've mentioned before, I love novelty. So that right off the bat, I'm digging it. I really am. They provide the strong presence those two instruments are known for, but also allow them to just kind of do new things and experiment and see where they can push the instruments, and that's pretty cool. It doesn't stop there, of course. I mentioned that guitar tone was very unique. Just kind of having that built-in repeated kill switch sound. Uh, it's just who would ever do that? I can't say I've ever thought to myself, yeah, I wish this tone was only here half the time. So the experimentation goes all the way from top to bottom in this band, or at least in this song specifically, and I really appreciate it. And I do appreciate the really strong, funky, core melody that we come to repeatedly. However, that's also the downfall for me is the repetition of the track mixed with the fact that outside of the repetition, there's very little of, how do I say this, not I'm just musical substance, right? Noise is definitely substance in a sense. It is music, which music is just the arrangement of sounds and silence. That's the most simplistic, straightforward definition of music that I have. It is what I tend to utilize when I talk about music. The noisy parts are music. They are musical. I just do not get a lot out of them. And a lot of it is because they are, what I've said before, noise for noise sake rather than strong melodic composition. Now, they do definitely evoke certain emotions, and if you're in a sort of chaotic mood or you want to listen to chaotic music, this is just perfect for that. You can't really find this kind of sound or atmosphere or emotion anywhere else than raw noise, just kind of the chaos of making sound. It is just not necessarily for me. So, all this kind of brings us back to where I started. I really dig this. I could not stop grooving to it the whole time. It is a funky groove underneath with really strong trumpet presence, bass and trumpet. They're like my two loves right there, and to see them both sort of put on spotlight right here was just phenomenal. But at the same time, I couldn't get into a lot of the musical elements of it. So I really dig the sound. I don't dig the composition. I guess that's one way to put it. Like I said, that core melody was phenomenal the first, second time, but by the fifth, I was kind of done with it. And when the alternative to it in the music is just noise, I just feel like it's lacking something that I personally want in my music. But that doesn't make it bad. That is just my opinion. And this is where you guys come in. Hit me up with your opinion. Let me know what you thought of the Budos Band's Burnt Offering. Let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree. Clue me in on noise rock. Is that a thing, and is this that thing? Right? And when you're done commenting, you head up to the description box if you'd like to check out anything adjacent to the channel, such as the Patreon, blocked videos, or the newly opened public Discord server. You want to check out the community, chat with some people who are very, very passionate about music. This is the place to go. It's a phenomenal community, and I don't just say that because it's mine. It really is an awesome place to talk about music. So if you're curious, check it out. Also, if you could like, subscribe, ring the bell, they help out the channel immensely. And if you'd like to be notified when I post new things, they can help you out immensely. If you're more of a traditionalist, you like to keep track of things on your own, you don't need an AI to let you know when things are happening. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UTC, every day. All right, that wraps this one up. Tomorrow we'll be looking at another special selection, and then Monday we start what I am very excited for, Pop Week. Right? I don't think we're going to be checking out anything too mainstream. A lot of the people requested and who ended up making it on the poll are not necessarily people I'm well versed with, which excites me because a lot of the pop I know is sort of the stuff that is popular. It's stuff that's kind of advertised heavily. That's a good way to put it. Your Taylor Swifts and your Lady Gagas and Ariana Grandes. I don't believe any of them made the cut for the poll. Everything is kind of stuff I'm not aware of. So a little further away from the mainstream, a bit more on the fringe. I'm excited to get into it. I love pop music. I don't think that's a bad thing. Pop music is phenomenal when it's done right. We're going to explore that for a week. I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited too. I know this is more of a rock and metal channel that just happens to be the kind of community that I've fallen into. My first reaction was actually a pop song. So it'll be nice to return to that. And yeah, hopefully you guys will stick around and at least give every song a listen. If you don't enjoy it, that's fine. If you don't want to stick around for the analysis, that's fine. But try to broaden your horizons. That's what we do here. I did not think that I would be listening to, growling death metal with ridiculous I had to learn gravity blast. Like, I knew what a blast beat was. I didn't know what a gravity blast was. So I've had to really get outside my comfort zone this last year. How about, I just appreciate if everybody else can do the same and just check out music. You don't have to like it. And just because it's pop doesn't mean it's bad. So just give it a listen. That's all I'm asking. All right. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Keep being awesome. And have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.